What's up, people? Another classic roster, Legends roster update. And I'm starting it off with this guy, Dave Bing. Now, most of the time when you hear people talk about like the greatest Detroit Pistons ever, right? Everybody pretty much goes to the bad boys. You know, that's pretty much all they talk about. That's it. But they are remiss if they don't talk about Dave Bing. Dave Bing was a scoring machine I was going to say in the 70s, but started his career in 66, 67. So he for the first 4, 5, 6, 7 years of his career, he averaged at least 20 points a game and never averaged less than 10.6 in any of his seasons. He went to 7 All-Star games. He is in the Hall of Fame. So Dave Bing was that business, even if you have never heard of Mr. Bing. So the season that I took of Dave Bing was the 72-73 season. He was actually 29 years old in that season, but still definitely going strong. Averaged 22.4 points a game. Now he had a season where he averaged 27 a game, but I gave him this season because he averaged 7.8 assists this season as well. So I thought, kind of a little bit more of a complete season for him. So Dave Bing with the jump shot, actually, he kind of jumped kind of high on his jump shot. So I was kind of trying to represent that, but, it is what it is. I think we still came out pretty good. Nothing's pretty too spectacular here when you talk about the signature moves. Most of these guys, for the old school guys, I didn't really go too crazy on those because a lot of it I didn't see. Most of it I didn't see unless it was like in some sort of highlight reel or whatever. So I try to keep it kind of basic there, but just stick to the ratings. And that's what I did. So we got badges. He got 15 of them. 3 of them was gold. Bank is open, dead eye, and microwave. I gave him the microwave, and there's actually a great Detroit Piston. His nickname is the microwave. Vinny Johnson. Here comes the attributes. And the 80 for Dave Bing came through with it. Came with it. This particular episode, I'm gonna tell you, I'm nervous about the views for this episode, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I don't really have a big name guy in this particular video that's gonna make people say, "Ooh, I want to see." So if you're looking at this video, you just like hardcore, and I appreciate that because none of the 3 names in this video was making nobody go, "Whoa," not unless you like part of their family or something. But that's it. Let's go to the next guy. All right, this was the answer to the clue. Yes, this guy did actually lead his team in scoring the year that his Seattle Supersonics won the NBA Finals, but he did not win the Finals MVP. That went to Dennis Johnson. This is the Wizard, Gus Williams. I don't like this particular render. I might change his hairstyle because, matter of fact, when his hair looked like this, he was actually playing for Washington. So I probably should change that because this is the only like receding hairline thing they got. It's not even the right hair texture. So I may change it to like a different type of one because it looks a little weird. Yeah, you look a little weird. You look a little weird, Gus. Sorry. You look a little weird. But we used a 28-year-old Gus Williams. And in that particular season, he averaged 23.5 points a game, 6.9 assists, 2.2 steals. He will D you up. Only shot 22% from the 3, but then again, it was only the 3rd season the 3-pointer had been in existence. Shot 49% from the field. So I tried to, somewhat compensate for the fact that, he probably would have been a decent 3-point shooter if he had came along a little bit later. So I tried to compensate for that a little bit, but he's got some little moves, got some moves. I mean, his name is the Wizard, so he got a little bit of got some style to it. Got some style. Not a great athlete. He's a smaller guy, but he can throw it down a little bit. Throw it down a little bit. Let's take a look here. Got an 81 overall, 6'2", 175. A little thin. But hey, can't have everything, right? So he can play point guard or shooting guard. Went to USC. And let's take a look at the badges. We got 23 badges. This is what happens when you get that shake off the dribble and you're a awesome defender. 5 of them are gold. spin kingpin, the interceptor, the perimeter lockdown defender, the pick dodger, the pickpocket. Most of them are defense for the gold. But he got 8 silvers too. So, you know, those have to be, and those are about the handles. Flashy passer, killer crossover, shot creator, dead eye, teardropper, the king of Euros, bank is open, acrobat. I hooked him up. So there it is. That's Gus Williams. That was the clue from the last episode. Now let's move on to the final guy from this episode. This is Paul Westphal, one of the greatest Phoenix Suns that you don't hear a lot about him, but he's definitely one of the greatest Phoenix Suns. He was the head coach of the Phoenix Suns when they went to the finals and played the Bulls in the 90s. Been the head coach around since then and with Sacramento most recently, but that didn't work out. But what did work out was his 78-79 season. He was 28 years old, averaged 24 points a game, shot 53% from the field, 84% from the free throw line. It was before the three-point shot, but he definitely was the type of player to take threes. As a matter of fact, in the 79-80 season, which was the year they brought it in, he took over a 3 a game, which, because it was an experimental kind of a thing, that was actually a lot of threes. He only made 28% of them. Never made more than 29% of his threes because he played 5 years with the 3. But I think it's safe to say that Paul Westphal would have been a really, really good three-point shooter if he had played in what you call the three-point era, which he did not. So I thought, this is not great. It's okay, though. It's okay. The USC graduate gave him a little bit of lift on the three, on the jump shot form. Went with that for Elton Brand for his free throw shooting. So nothing too crazy here because Paul Westphal is not like a great athlete. So that we didn't go too crazy there. So let's take a look here. You got 7 badges, 2 of them gold. Corner specialist and dead eye. He can shoot, so we hooked him up with that. Not a lot else there. He's got an 80 overall though, which is it's decent. Let's take a flip through these attributes. You'll see where I'm going here now. But this clue, let's talk about this clue. This clue for the next episode is this. This man this is going to be real easy. So this is kind of like more like a did you know as opposed to like a something that's supposed to stump. He was the last Chicago Bull to average over 20 points a game before Michael Jordan. Not that hard to figure out. But I'll be interested to know how many people just knew that off GP. Last Chicago Bulls player to average 20 points a game before Michael Jordan. There it is. I appreciate y'all watching, man. Peace.